curtain rises on the Atlanta Falcons 2019 regular season in just over 2 weeks. For these Falcons, time is short, and there are still many questions to be answered. Will the offensive line rework, be ready, and able to protect Matt Ryan? Will the defense be once again healthy, whole, and return to top form? Will the new Falcon faces make an impact where they are needed? Tonight, it's all about fixing the issues at hand. Label tonight's game urgent. And tonight we are back here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as your Falcons get set to host the Washington Redskins in preseason game number 3. And hello there, everybody. I am Justin Kutcher. Well, there is that saying, you take 2 steps backwards for every step forwards. I think it's safe to say last week the offensive line for the Falcons took at least 1 step backwards against the Jets. As we are now entering preseason week number 3, Core Wire, the hope is that this offensive line can at least take 1 step forward again.
Yeah, there's no flipping a magic switch once the regular season hits. So tonight, the last real test run for the starters is vital. Matt Ryan was pressured on 14 of his 18 pass attempts last week. The offensive line on the hot seat again tonight. Second-year standout Matt Gono gets a huge opportunity to start at right tackle. James Carpenter, back from injury, the veteran at your left guard position. They'll have a huge test, including a 4-time Pro Bowler on the defensive side of Washington.
Okay, so the offensive line is a test. Defensively, we know that the Falcons have a pass rush now. The question is the depth of the secondary.
Yeah, the secondary is the pressure point right now. One of your best playmakers on defense, Damontae Kazee, out with injury. So who wants it? They're out there getting ready. Chris Cooper will get the start at nickel tonight. He'll split reps with Bleedy Ray Wilson. Keep your eye on the draft pick, Jordan Miller, and a dark horse in Sherrod Neesman.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot tools of the game, and we're going to stay with the special teams. Why? Because Giorgio Tavecchio is 4 of 7 on the preseason in field goals, and there's no Kenyon Barner, so who is the returner tonight for the Falcons? For who will be playing in the first half, let's check in with Jen Hale.
Justin, lots of roster spots up for grabs. Tonight, second-year pro Calvin Ridley gets the start at wide receiver. Dirk Cutter tells me he's coming off his first full week of practice since having off-season surgery on that left ankle. He is hoping to capitalize on what he did last year when he led all rookies in receiving yards, touchdowns, and receptions. Meanwhile, in the run game, Justin, keep your eyes on the battle between Brian Hill and Kadri Allison.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. Some smiles right now for the Falcons, hoping for a win in the preseason. Kickoff and DJ Shockley when we come back.
Atlanta Falcons preseason football is presented by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing, and sponsored in part by Bud Light, brewed for the dirty birds, and by AT&T, more for your thing. That's our thing.
Almost nighttime here. The sun is set in Atlanta as we're ready for game number 3. Let's go to the Equifax sideline report. Here's DJ Shockley.
Q, I know they all mean a lot to you, but there's always a lot of emphasis on this third preseason game. What's the most important thing you want to see out of your team in all 3 phases?
Well, we're still determining these roles and what could happen. So as you get into the third game, some more moments, some more opportunities for more players. So from the evaluation standpoint, special teams, you know, who's going to be the standouts? Who's going to be on this kickoff team, you know, when we open up in just 2 weeks? Return game, all of that matters. We're looking defensively, can we get the ball out? That's such a big emphasis for us, that speed and violence that we're looking for. And then offensively, let's make sure we're efficient. And so those are a couple of things that we're looking to do tonight.
All right, Q, have a good one.
All right,
appreciate it. Justin, Coy, back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Shock as Washington, they won the toss, deferred. Ito Smith thought about returning it from 7 yards deep in the end zone and thought better of it. Instead, the Falcons will start at the 25-yard line, led by that guy, Matt Ryan. Coy, you talked about him last week. He was under pressure on nearly every single drop back.
Yeah, it just speaks volumes about how tough Matt Ryan is and what a special gift they have here in Atlanta in that quarterback. He just had 1 incompletion last week. 3 drops by the wide receivers despite all those pressures.
And 2 of those drops came in the back of the end zone. Would have been sure thing touchdowns. Devontae Freeman at tailback. He'll take the handoff. And Freeman trying to get outside. He does. There's a late flag thrown. So we'll have to see if this is coming back. It will. It's going to be a hold that negates the 8-yard run.
Offense number 12. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
That's against the birthday boy, Mohamed Sanu. Celebrating a birthday, gets called for a penalty on the first snap.
Happy birthday. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too there. We're looking for a big block for his buddy Devontae Freeman out there, adding some life into this offense at the end of the run. But the penalties have halted this team all preseason. The offense, only one other team has more penalty yards on offense than the Falcons.
All right, so the officials will get their flags back. It's going to be 1st and 20 back at the 15. Excuse me, at the 16-yard line. Ryan, he has a pocket this time, delivers it to Sanu. Sanu gets hit at the 26, picks up 7 as we take a look at our SunTrust players to watch.
Matt Gono getting a huge opportunity at the right tackle. The second-year standout from Wesley College starting there tonight. Quadri Allison in a heated battle with Brian Hill at running back, and Jaden Graham at the tight end position really stood out last week, as he has done all preseason.
5 wide receivers in on 2nd down and 9. Freeman is at the top of your screen. Matt Ryan delivers the pass to Freeman, and Freeman trying to shake and bake a couple defenders, gets 6 yards. Josh Harvey Clemens with the tackle. 3rd down coming up. Devontae Freeman, we saw him sparingly last week just on the first drive. But he's a guy, if this team's going to have great success this year, you expect him to put up some good numbers.
Yeah, they offensively had great success last season, and they didn't even have their star Pro Bowler. He's back tonight with a couple of touches tonight to make you remember why he's so special.
He comes in on pass protection right there. Under pressure is Ryan. He completes the pass to Austin Hooper. I think Hooper's going to be about a yard short.
Matt Ryan all last week throwing off his back foot. He does it again here. Look at the arm strength. Look at the diagnostics there. He's trying to find out where he can go with his ball, and despite being off his back foot, still putting the ball on his tight end.
So Matt Bosher is on to punt. Greg Stroman is back at his own 19-yard line. And it's a fake up the middle. And that's going to be a first down here for the Falcons. A 6-yard run. The snap to Sherrod Niesman. So Dan Quinn pulling out the stops. Look at the smile right there, saying, I want a preseason win.
And that's why we highlighted Sherrod Niesman as a dark horse for this game. Opportunities to shine. Here it is on special teams. He's vital to this unit within this organization. This is one thing we're seeing with Ben Kotwika, the new special teams coordinator. He's going to add some wrinkles in that phase of the game. Keith Armstrong last season, very conservative. Looks like this year may have some exciting times in that phase of the game.
Now 1st and 10. Ito Smith is the tailback. Ryan gets rid of it quickly, lofting it, and coming down with the ball is Justin Hardy. A 24-yard completion to number 14.
We're seeing an offense that's playing a little ticked off. They were embarrassed a bit last week. They're coming out. I talked to some players and coaches within the organization. There are some real heart-to-hearts going on, some real difficult conversations about players being able to step up when they're called upon. Justin Hardy has done it just now.
A big-time catch by Hardy. Freeman's back in as the Falcons are to the 36 of the Redskins. Play action. Ryan moving around. Ryan's got some room to run. He's going to slide. They're going to mark him down at the 29 as he gets 7. I like that play by Matt Ryan. There is a ton of green there for him.
Yeah, of getting down, because last week he cut back.
Yes.
You know, he's out there trying to make something happen, and I guarantee you someone's gotten his ears to remember this is the preseason. Matt Ryan, though, proving that he is sneaky athletic when he has to be.
People think he's slow. I've seen him run on the treadmill at 10, and it looked like he was jogging.
I was in that weight room that morning, and you looked like you were a poodle trying to keep up with a racehorse.
And now we're going to have the Redskins, I believe, jumping. I think it's John Bostic who jumped off. And we've seen the Falcons try to draw some guys offside throughout the preseason.
Zone infraction. Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jerome Boger, an Atlanta native, is the referee here in this final home preseason game for the Falcons. A first down. Dirk Cutter, the new offensive coordinator.
Guys, one thing to point out is you can tell the difference when you have a week to really prepare. They went in and put a little bit of a game plan in. You can see the aggressive play calling, taking shots. Being aggressive is what you like here early for the Falcons.
First and 10 now from the 25. The handoff to Freeman. Freeman could not get away from the tackle of Landon Collins. It's a loss of 1. Collins signed a free agent deal with the Redskins after spending the beginning part of his career with the New York Giants.
Bottom right of your screen, you see Collins, number 20, entering down into the box. Veteran safety, physical safety, making a play in the backfield. Thing that stood out to me there, Jaden Graham, the tight end, getting some reps and looks at fullback in that package.
2nd and 11. Ryan gets rid of it quickly. The catch is made by Calvin Ridley. Ridley running after the catch will pick up 9, setting up 3rd and 2. John Bostic with the tackle.
He's so good, Calvin Ridley, at these mid-level crossing routes. No fear in him. Matt Ryan has really found it a weapon in those sorts of situations.
It's pretty scary when you think about the receiving core. No Julio Jones tonight. But think about Ridley, Jones, Sanu. We saw a great catch already by Justin Hardy. 3rd and 2, it's Ito Smith in the backfield. 10th play of the drive, Hooper goes in motion. Ito Smith cuts it back, cuts it again. Let's see where the forward progress will be stopped. It's going to be a yard shy. 4th and 1 coming up. What do you think? Do they go for it? Ricky Ortiz is out, questionable with an ankle injury.
Jaden Graham getting those reps at fullback, that could be a huge moment for him to be able to prove his value, his worth to this offense more than just a tight end. His weakness is blocking from the tight end position, but being off the ball like this, his athleticism may come into play. And do you go for it, Justin? You already faked a punt at midfield. Why not?
4th and 1. And that's going to be, I believe, a false start against the Falcons. That's Jamon Brown.
Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So a little bit over anxious by Brown, which means we get to see one of the question marks coming into this game. Giorgio Tavecchio, the kicker, replacing Matt Bryant, the longtime kicker. Can he convert here from 39? He's 4 of 7 so far this season, the preseason.
Matty Ice, the quarterback. We know some of the great Falcons fans here gave Tavecchio the nickname Italian Ice. We'll see if he can be cold-blooded after last week.
And that is no good. A miss from 39. He's now 4 of 8 in field goals on the preseason. A good drive, nothing to show for it. No score here in the first. Giorgio Tavecchio on the sideline. Let's take a look at the snap by Josh Harris and the hold by Bosher.
Not too bad. The timing was there. Looks just like a miss wide left from Tavecchio.
So the question mark continues. Case Keenum in at quarterback. Darius Geis in at tailback here for the Redskins. Geis takes the handoff, a good cutback. And Geis, a good run on first down. He gets 7 as we took a look at our SunTrust players to watch on the defensive side of the ball.
Jermaine Grace continues to impress. He's had 16 tackles this preseason, 2nd of all defenders in the league. Isaiah Oliver, someone to watch with the depth concerns here in the secondary. Will he be picked on more? We'll see. Who will be that slot nickel corner? The big question tonight.
No Kendall Sheffield, no DeMonte Casey. 2nd down and 3. Keenum over the middle. He completes that pass to Darvin Kidsey. That 6-yard completion and a first down. Case Keenum, questions in D.C. Who's going to be the opening day starter for the Redskins? They thought maybe Colt McCoy. Of course, first-round pick Dwayne Haskins. We'll see him. But I think all signs are pointing to Case Keenum being the opening day starter. From the 42. Geis. Stiff arm, able to get outside and able to get away from the tackle of Isaiah Oliver. He gets 6 yards because of that stiff arm and the good footwork.
Isaiah Oliver there actually took a chance and went inside the block that he was supposed to. Still made contact, but not good enough against a strong runner in Geis. This defense has been good against the run all preseason, allowing just 3.2 yards a carry. That one about 6.
So far, a couple of good runs for Geis. On 2nd and 4, pressure, and able to get it away is Keenum as he completes the pass to Josh Dotson for 16 yards. So much like we saw against the Jets, the first drive good for the opposition. It's the one time where the defense has struggled.
Yeah, first drive against the Jets resulted in a touchdown for the defense. They were solid the rest of the night. First and second stringers. We'll see what kind of resilience they can show here with the Redskins moving the ball.
1st and 10 now from the 36 of the Falcons. Play action. Keenum setting up the screen for Geis. And look at the pursuit right there to get back by Grady Jarrett. Just a 4-yard play because of Grady Jarrett's hustle.
Yeah, there was some blockers out in front. This screen set up, and that's why you paid this man a lot of money. He was on the ground on a knee. He gets up and chases down a speedy back, setting the example, setting the tone for how this Dan Quinn defense is supposed to be played.
2nd down and 6 could have been a much bigger gain if not for the hustle of Jarrett. Kidsey in motion. Geis up the middle, nowhere really to go. He'll get a yard. 3rd and 5 coming up, and this has been something that we've seen from the Falcons defense under their head coach and now coordinator Dan Quinn. Bend but don't break. You've got a chance right now to get off the field at 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and 3rd down, they've been excellent all preseason, especially against the pass. 4th in the league, allowing conversions of just 27%. That's outstanding.
It's Chris Thompson now in the backfield on 3rd down for the Redskins. Keenum gets rid of it, but got pressured and got hit. Adrian Claiborne is the one who delivered the hit on Keenum.
Yeah, this is why you brought Claiborne back to Atlanta from New England. The veteran, ridiculous pass rush experience, moves, and a toughness factor that is just difficult to find. He's another guy who sets the tone. One of the main reasons Dan Quinn wanted him back wearing red this season.
So now Dustin Hopkins is on for a 48-yard field goal attempt. And Hopkins from 48 is good. Drills that one to give the Redskins a 3-0 lead. But again, bend but don't break by the Falcons defense as they trail by 3. .403 to go here in the first quarter. 3-0 Redskins over the Falcons here on special teams. This may be where Duke Riley has to make a name for himself this year for the Falcons. 3rd-year player, could be his best chance to stay on the roster. Dustin Hopkins will kick off. Ito Smith is back deep. And Ito Smith again 7 yards deep in the end zone, will take a knee in the end zone for the touchback. Let's check out the Emory Healthcare comeback story. It features number 37, Ricardo Allen. He tore his left Achilles tendon week 3 last year against the Saints, missed the final 13 games of the season. He has worked his tail off to get back. This is him back in June. He returned to the field last week, and it is a great sign seeing Ricardo Allen back on the field for the Falcons. Ito Smith in at tailback here on 1st and 10 for Atlanta. Play action. Ryan gets it to Smith in the open field, makes a move, and Ito Smith, he gets 8 as he's able to shake and bake around number 40, Josh Harvey Clements.
That's what you need out of a running back in space. Putting the defensive back on skates. Ito Smith able to gain a couple of extra yards at the end of that catch.
All right, be honest with me, Coy. As a defensive player, linebacker, safety, how much do you hate that open field tackle?
Depends on how confident you are in yourself. Sometimes it's the greatest sight in the world, and you get to go mano-a-mano with someone. Sometimes you're nervous.
Brian Hill in for the first time, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Brian Hill was a guy that really was stepping up his game. Although last week when he dropped the ball in the end zone, we didn't see him again in the game.
Yeah, it was almost like a slap in the wrist you felt at that moment. And when that's the mind games that can be played when there's a heated competition, every rep matters, and especially a potentially big moment like that with a drop touchdown, you're going to give the other guys an opportunity to see how they're going to respond when they get the light shined on them.
Guys, one thing to look at is James Carpenter is now in the ball game. We saw Jamon Brown start the game, get the false start. Now James Carpenter in at that left guard spot.
All right, so here on 3rd and 1, Matt Ryan lost one up to Austin Hooper, and he was stretching for it. He will have the first down. That was actually Jaden Graham. I apologize.
Yeah, out of the fullback position. He's been playing there all night in the absence of Ricky Ortiz. He could turn some heads at this position. He did last week from tight end. He's over there hurdling guys after the catch. And here he is leaking out into the flat off of a play action. Be a nice added dimension and skill set from the fullback position if he can pull it off.
Matt Ryan is 7 of 7 for 58 yards so far. It's Hooper in motion. On 1st down, Ito Smith. Ito Smith, a good run on 1st down. He's going to get 10, and it's a 1st down here for the Falcons. And you just saw something we haven't seen out of Ito Smith so far this preseason. There was an explosion. Once he got the ball, he took off.
Yeah, the hit it and get it. I mean, this is a person who's been playing with patience and running between the tackles quite a bit, and he's shown he can do that. And then to see that speed, when he gets an edge, he will take it in a hurry.
He gets a breather. Brian Hill comes back in.
Watch play action.
The toss here to Hill. He tries to cut it back. He cannot. Gets tackled for a loss of 3 by Ryan Anderson.
Watch the pursuit by Washington, really running to the football and nowhere for Brian Hill to go. What we're seeing a lot from this run game from the Falcons, a lot more to the perimeter. Some stretch zone. There was a toss out of a bunch formation, and so they're really trying to work those edges. Off that, you can be expecting some boot and play action.
2nd down and 13. The quick pass to Sanu. Sanu cannot get away from the tackle there. A 2-yard pickup. It's Jimmy Moreland who makes the tackle, and now some guys getting in each other's faces. But it was Moreland who set the edge on the previous play, and now he makes the tackle there on Sanu.
What kind of time will Matt Ryan have on 3rd and 11? We know what the story was last week. Pressured on 14 of his 18 pass attempts. In a 3rd and 10 plus situation, this offense, they're 1 of 17 this preseason. We'll see if Matt Ryan can change things.
They've got 3rd and 11 coming up when we come back for the 2nd quarter. The end of the first quarter. Redskins 3, Falcons nothing. Back after the short timeout. Preseason week 3. The 100th year of the NFL. Beautiful Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Such a cool sight. Fans are here as the Redskins lead 3-0 as we start the second quarter, 3rd and 11. Ryan in trouble, has to throw this one away as he was dealing with pressure. Matt Ioannidis was there, as was Daron Payne. So you look at the stats from the first quarter, and it was really a dominant first quarter by the Falcons, although nothing to show for it. A missed field goal by Giorgio Tavecchio from 39 yards, and now on to punt is Matt Bosher. Greg Stroman is back at his own 9. And Bosher gets away a good punt. Fair catch signaled and made at the 16, a 38-yard punt. And let's go down to the field and say hello to Jen Hale.
Well, Justin, some good injury news for the Falcons. Everybody remembers the big injuries from last week. Russell Gage with the hip, Kendall Sheffield with the hamstring, and DeMonte Casey with the rib. I had a chance to talk to Dan Quinn pregame, and he told me they will all be ready for week 1 of the regular season, as will Kenyon Barner. In fact, he told me he would have played Gage and Barner today had it been the regular season, but since it's preseason, no need to risk it.
Jen, that's great news because all of those players could be key for the Falcons this year. We talked about the depth of the secondary. Kendall Sheffield, one of those guys who provides depth in the secondary. 1st and 10 from the 16 for the Redskins. The veteran Vernon Davis in motion. Geis, play action. And wide open is Jeremy Sprinkle, and Sprinkle breaks a tackle and now gets pulled down by Ricardo Allen, but not before a big gain of 28 yards. Jeremy Sprinkle, 6'5", 255. That's no sprinkle.
That's a full-on flood coming right at you in your living room. Jermaine Grace missing a tackle there, wasn't able to stop the drip.
I mean, missing a tackle, he just bounced off of him.
Yeah, bad discipline there on the backside of that play action. Got to keep your flat defender with his eyes on the number 2 receiver.
Hand off here to Geis, trying to dance around. They'll take it up to the 47, get 3. Bruce Carter with the tackle.
One thing to notice is this offense looks kind of similar to what the Falcons do on offense. A lot of outside zone, stretch perimeter runs, and they get you flowing one way and they come back with the naked bootleg, similar to what happened last time. Coy, like you mentioned, guys have to be fundamentally sound with all the decisions they make when they get those type of plays coming at them.
The offensive coordinator is Kevin O'Connell under head coach Jay Gruden for the Redskins. 2nd and 7 here for Washington. Case Keenum in at quarterback. Keenum pressured, gets rid of it to Geis. I'm not sure, that may have been a lateral, which would mean that'll be a run. And he gets 2 yards on it.
We talked about this in the open of our show, that it looks like the Falcons have found a pass rush this season. Takk McKinley, Jack Crawford, relentless in there. This is just a 4-man rush. Falcons were just playing basic cover 3, and they were able to put the heat on Keenum.
So now it's 3rd and 6. Can this defense get the offense off the field again? Chris Thompson split out as a wide receiver for the Redskins. Keenum does get rid of it quickly. It's incomplete through the hands of Jordan Reed.
Falcons were playing man free. They had deep help with a safety and a rover down low in Devondre Campbell. So that's why you saw outside leverage by Keanu Neal, knowing he has help in Devondre. And look at that. Should have been a catch, but pretty good defense on that reaction to that throw.
So Tressway is on to punt. Marcus Green is back to receive here. Again, question marks about who will be the return man for this Falcons team. And this is going to sail into the end zone, and a touchback here. 12:26 to go here in the first half. The Redskins lead the Falcons 3-0. 3-0 Redskins lead the Falcons. We said the defensive line no longer an issue for Atlanta. How about the offensive line? That's where the question marks reside.
Yeah, your left guard and Carpenter and your right tackle and Gono, they're the spots to watch tonight.
Ryan was perfect in the first quarter. Now he gets pressured and he gets hit from behind by Montez Sweat, the rookie out of Mississippi State. He gets 3 yards.
Watch the pocket. Pretty good room to operate for Matt. He's able to step up, but good coverage in the secondary. That's why Matt took off and run on the run there.
2nd down and 7. A line change here for the receivers. Christian Blake comes in. Calvin Ridley comes in. Mohamed Sanu comes in. And there's some confusion right now for the offense. Matt Ryan directing traffic. Play clock is down to 5. Delayed handoff to Ito Smith. And Smith across the 26 gets 3. Jimmy Moreland, who's had a good first half with the tackle.
Good run-pass ratio so far. Defense not able to get a beat on what the Falcons are trying to do. Remember, they're starting to game plan now. This is a dress rehearsal for the regular season. We're seeing a little bit more of what this offense will look like once week 1 of the regular season hits. Most important thing, Matt Ryan a lot more comfortable sitting in the pocket this week than he was a week ago.
The Falcons 1 for 4 on 3rd down so far. Ito Smith is in as the tailback. Ryan gets pressured from behind, cannot complete it to Austin Hooper. The pressure was coming from the backside of Matt Ryan.
Yeah, that's your right tackle spot. Matt Gono there. You can see he tried to give too much help to the inside rusher, and he's got to take priority with the edge rusher, and that's the guy who got the hit on Matt Ryan.
And that's Montez Sweat again active on that series. Matt Ryan frustrated. Matt Bosher back on to punt. Greg Stroman at his own 25. Fair catch again signaled and made at the 22 by Stroman. A 51-yard punt. Matt Ryan, his first incompletion. His team trails by 3.
Getting coached up one-on-one on the sidelines by Chris Morgan after giving up that pressure that led to Matt Ryan's first sack of the evening. Really, Justin, Gono's a tremendous story. He was born in Liberia, 4 years at a small school, Wesley College, a Division III school in Delaware. He still has a lot to learn clearly, but the Falcons think he's certainly showing promise. Tonight's his biggest audition yet.
Yeah, he had to go up against the rookie Montez Sweat. Sweat very active here. Darius Geis on the run. He gets 3, but Gono is one of those guys who Dan Quinn and company believe that he can play multiple positions, guard, tackle, a valuable backup, a valuable asset for the team.
Yeah, you saw his offensive line coach give him a wink there and just reassuring him, like, calm down, you're going to get another chance. He's consistently improved as his time here in Atlanta has gone on, and you know, he just a technique error there gave up the first quarterback hit on the night for Matt Ryan.
On 2nd down and 7, play action. Keenum gets hit once, escapes, throws as he's going to the ground. They say he was not in the grasp. There was a player in the vicinity. That was some great strength by Keenum as Adrian Claiborne was all over him.
Getting flashbacks of what Claiborne showed his first time here in Atlanta. Again, this is not an elaborate rush scheme. This is just all-out will, individual effort. Adrian Claiborne's a fighter.
3rd and 7. The Falcons defense trying to get a 3 and out, just like the Redskins defense just did. Chris Thompson in at tailback on 3rd and 7.
Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, Brady Jarrett, they can really pin their ears back and go.
Keenum gets rid of it quickly. This time it's complete to Jordan Reed, and flags come flying as his helmet comes off. And that's one of those dangerous plays. Just like to see the fact that Reed got up. Keanu Neal was the one who delivered the hit, and this could be trouble. Keanu Neal made his return last week.
Personal foul, illegal use of helmet, defense, number 86. I'm sorry, number 22. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play, automatic. First down.
Physical player, enforcer. It's Devondre Campbell in coverage who allowed him, got beat inside, and there's that hit. Even though he's looks like he may be trying to turn his head away, there was no avoiding that. He's leading with his helmet, first thing to make contact with the receiver.
Coy, what do you tell a defensive guy when the receiver is going towards the ground and almost falling down? Is it their right to still try to get their head out the way?
It's going to happen. You know, I mean, your strike zone shrinks exponentially. The only thing you can really do there is go up high and go for a ride, or go down and try to take out his legs.
Chris Thompson on the run, gets 2, tackled by Keanu Neal. We saw Devondre Campbell go to the sidelines, kind of grab his oblique area. So 2nd down and 8 now for the Redskins.
Duke Riley will come in and get an opportunity to make some plays. Hasn't gotten a lot of reps on the defensive side of the ball. Some special teams action this preseason, especially last week, but someone who has to prove that they're able to step in and get the job done when called upon.
Keenum pumps. Keenum gets hit. That's going to be an interception. Ted McKinley's got it the other way, and McKinley is tackled from behind at the 33-yard line. A 19-yard return. There's the pressure by the Falcons defensive line.
It started with great coverage in the secondary. Keanu Neal, after having a penalty called on him, taking away the read, taking away the pass to the left of your screen there, and then look at Deidre Sanat. Look at Claiborne again. 3 big plays now for Claiborne on the night, including that quarterback hit, forcing the errant throw and the interception to tack McKinley. You think his eyes were big? Yeah, he was already planning his touchdown dance.
A huge turnover, a takeaway by the Falcons. They have it at the 33 of the Redskins. The toss here to Brian Hill. And Hill able to spin forward up to the 27-yard line. Ryan Anderson with the tackle, and this is where this Falcons offense needs to take advantage.
Look at this left side of the offensive line. All right, 77, 70. Watch them. How many yards does Brian Hill gain before he even gets touched? This is what you want to see on an offensive line that has been suspect in previous weeks. Now they're starting to gel together. They're game planning for this week. James Carpenter there in tandem with Jake Matthews. Excellent push. 6-yard gain.
2nd and 4. It's Hill again. Slips through. Hill. He's going to be close to that first down marker. He does have it.
This time they say left side, we saw what you can do. Right side, what do you have? Chris Lindstrom, you're being called upon. Matt Gono in your first start, same thing. Look at this. Look at this push. Alex Mack with the reach. Chris Lindstrom sealing it. And look at that. I mean, this is really impressive. There's been, again, a lot of talking going on this past week about the offensive line's performance a week ago. They're showing that they're hungry, ready to prove that they have something working this season.
Ito Smith in the backfield. Hardy in motion. Ito Smith takes the handoff. Smith lowers that shoulder as he crosses the 20 down to the 18, gets 5.
The offensive line, I mean, they're just walling off defenders right now. I mean, it's a sea of red. Just opening up huge holes for the running back. Look at this. I mean, the running back's on the 2nd level right now, and he makes a guy miss. I mean, but this offensive line, anytime you're a running back and you're not getting touched to the 2nd level, your offensive line is doing some great work for you.
2nd and 6. Ryan dances in the pocket, throws to Sanu, who makes the catch for the first down. 14 yards. 1st and goal coming up for the Falcons.
Matt Ryan sitting comfortable in the pocket. You see what he can do with pressure, and now, I mean, life is good. He's got Sanu running the corner route, sits it down before he gets to the safety, taps the toes, offense rolling.
Fellas, I kind of had a sense in pregame talking to offensive line coach Chris Morgan. He was still feisty from last week. Expect his offensive line to keep this up.
It's 1st and goal from the 5 now for the Falcons.
Much tough.
Ito Smith, the jump back. Smith diving. Let's see. He's in. Touchdown Falcons.
Nose for the end zone this preseason. Ito Smith finding it again. I love his patience. He had some misdirection, but in front of him it all started with the center of that line, Alex Mack. Look at him, just relentless, mauling his man into the end zone. Ito Smith, all he had to do was follow him.
Points off turnovers. The big takeaway, that interception by Takk McKinley. Now Tavecchio is on for the extra point. Of course, every scoring play is reviewed.
Yeah, Ito Smith just showing that patience again, and his ability to have a low profile, tough for the defenders to see, but again, the offensive line owned that entire drive in the run game, in pass protection, and finishing it off with the tough yards down. Look at Mack just putting his defender on the back.
He is in fact in for the touchdown as Tavecchio sets up for the extra point.
What's going through Tavecchio's mind right now?
Make this extra point. And he does, in fact, make the extra point to make it a 7-3 Falcons lead with 6:09 to go. It all started with Takk McKinley's interception, finishes with Ito Smith's touchdown run. Ito Smith is smiling. Devontae Freeman, he's got the pads off. He's smiling too. It's now a 7-3 lead. Tavecchio to kick off. Back deep is Byron Marshall. 2 yards deep in the end zone. Marshall will take it out. And Marshall gets tackled as he crosses the 15 to the 18. Right now, time for AT&T Meet the Rookies. Let's introduce you to Falcons wide receiver Marcus Green. He was a 6th-round pick of the Rams, traded along with the 1st-round pick Caleb McGarry here to Atlanta. He played college at Louisiana Monroe. This is a guy who is trying to make the team as a wide receiver and a special teams guy. Tonight, he is the returner on kickoffs. And now the Falcons with the lead will play defense against Case Keenum and this Redskins offense. Geis takes the handoff. Geis, a good run here on 1st down as he gets 12. Darius Geis, a good sight for Redskins fans.
Yeah, explosive back, very quick, runs through tackles extremely well. Falcons defenders there. We have a new flight of linebackers in. Jermaine Grace is in for the first time this evening, number 53. Keep your eye on him. He's been a playmaker all preseason. The starters go out on a high note with that forced bad throw and an interception, which turned into a touchdown for the offense.
Hand off again to Geis. Great patience. Able to get 4 yards there where seemingly there was nowhere to run. Kamal Ishmael with his 2nd straight tackle of Darius Geis. 2nd down and 6. Under 5 to go here in this 1st half.
Fellow, one guy to watch is Bleedy Ray Wilson. He's another guy who they really like. He's playing inside the slot now, usually on the outside, but another opportunity where Dan Quinn likes to cross-train these guys to play multiple spots on his defense.
Versatility a key for Dan Quinn's defense. Keenum throws over the middle, completes that to Sims. And Cam Sims, he's all the way down to 38, a 28-yard completion. Ryan Neal with the tackle.
Number 40, Ryan Neal, in for the first time this game at corner. Got to squeeze the skinny post. You have a center field safety, but if you leave that much space, the quarterbacks are going to fit it right in there.
Sims out of Alabama. And now 1st and 10 for the Redskins, marching down the field against this defense for Atlanta. Hand off to Geis. Geis again with a strong run to get 6 on 1st down. Setting up 2nd down and 4. Delshon Phillips with the tackle.
Seeing the Washington's able to move the ball really well here against this second unit that's come in for the Falcons. The first unit had it happen to them. They were able to bend but don't break, as you said, Justin. How will the backups do? They've been pretty solid all preseason with some playmakers now in the game, like Austin Larkin at the top of your screen on the end of the line. Have some new safeties in the game as well.
Chris Thompson takes the handoff. Thompson explodes through the hole. Impressive speed, the burst by Chris Thompson. 16 yards, finally stopped by Sherrod Niesman.
Yeah. You could see number 93, Alan Bailey there. It's like he wasn't set. He kind of hopped into a different gap just before the snap, and Thompson was able to see that voided space, and he hit it in a hurry. Washington really able to move the ball on the ground right now. Would be a good time to hit some play action. But as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They might just try to run it up in there again.
Red zone opportunity. They are going to keep it on the ground to Thompson. And this time Thompson gets tackled by Jack Crawford. Just a 3-yard run this time for Thompson. 2nd down and 7 as we're approaching the 2-minute warning here in the first half. I don't think the Redskins will run another play before the 2-minute warning. And I'm actually correct for once. 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute warning
in Atlanta. Dan Quinn has taken over the defensive coordinator position here for the Falcons, and right now his team is facing a 2nd down and 8 from their own 14 against a Redskins offense which has been running the ball very well. Darius Geis is back in at tailback for the Redskins. Keenum pressured, gets hit as he throws. It was Crawford who delivered the hit on Case Keenum. 3rd and 8 coming. Crawford seemingly came in untouched.
Yeah, it was actually such a good swim move by him that he looked untouched. He had that offensive lineman reaching for air. Crawford continues to shine this preseason. He's going to have a really great year now that they brought some pieces around him, and he's going to be fresh when he does get in there. Great job forcing the air and throw there.
Keenum having some problems getting that play in,
Timeout.
and the Redskins will take a timeout,
First.
facing 3rd and 8 with 1:55 to play. The defensive line will have another chance to step up. 3rd and 8 when we come back. .155 to go. Falcons up by 4. 3rd and 8 coming up. All right, Coy, does Dan Quinn dial up a blitz here? Does he play it safe and stay back?
It looks like they're going to play it safe right now. They've been great on 3rd down all preseason. 4th in the league, allowing just 27% conversion. Bleedy Ray Wilson in the hot seat in the nickel, and Ryan Neal on the edge down below.
Case Keenum to the end zone, and that is incomplete, but there's the flag. Ryan Neal gets called for the flag, trying to guard against Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, we caught it. You're going to go for him again, right? You picked on him earlier, and there you can see the hands wrapped around the back, and he never turned for the ball. I mean, he's in great position. That's just that inexperience showing. He's in his 2nd season out of Southern Illinois, and you're just not having that awareness that you're in great position. Don't panic. Turn and find the ball. That's a 2nd time tonight Ryan Neal has given up a big play.
So now it's 1st and goal from the 1. Geis is in. They give it to him, and Geis, he gets hit. I think it made the first to make contact. Duke Riley brought him down, but he got grabbed.
He did more than just bring him down. Woo, he took on a lead block and made the hit.
They're first.
Let's see who gets that first hit.
Bam. wants it.
Duke Riley was the one who made that run stuffing play. He's a guy who needs to make a name for himself, needs to get noticed here in this third game of the preseason. 2nd and 1. Geis again. This time Geis barrels his way.
Nope.
No sign yet. Still waiting.
Dan Quinn is hype. He's all the way down on the 5-yard line out in the field. He knows it's a
wanted a
big moment.
Timeout Atlanta.
Yep, Sharon Neesman able to come up.
Look how low the defense gets. You don't see them getting driven back into the end zone. That's what you want to see on a goal line situation. Duke Riley again, a nose for the football. Look at him grinding up in there, straining, gets his hands on Geis again. 2 former LSU Tigers in there catfighting. 2 plays in a row. Duke Riley's a guy, he's gained some weight. You can see it. He's up to about 230 now. We said he's been making some plays on special teams. He had a tackle last week, but he needs to prove that he's worth the spot to stick around on defense, and he's shining early in his opportunities here tonight.
3rd and goal. I got to think that this is going to be 2-down territory for the Redskins. If they don't get it here on 3rd and goal, they're going to go for it on 4th and goal. It's the 10th play of the drive coming up. Do the Falcons have another stop in their defense? Geis in his first action since coming back from ACL injury. Geis goes over the top. There's a flag thrown, touchdown. But let's wait to see what the flag is going to be holding against the Redskins.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
That's against the former first-round pick of the New York Giants, Eric Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers was made to look silly a few plays ago when Jack Crawford swim moved him, made him look like he wasn't even there. And this is what happens when you have a defense that is really straining with all-out effort. You force the offensive linemen to make some errors. And what a stand so far by this Falcons backup unit.
The most important thing down on that 1-yard line on all 3 of those plays was the Falcons got tons of penetration.
Now it's going to be a 3rd and goal from the 11. And the fans who are here are making some noise at the bends.
Yeah, those defensive linemen, those pass rushers, now their hairs are standing up on the back of their neck. 6 sacks so far this preseason, tied for 5th most in the league. Now's the time where they can go get another one.
Chris Thompson in the backfield. Keenum, good protection. Keenum throws to the end zone. It's batted away. Jermaine Grace got a hand on it. That kid's making a name for himself.
To me, he just earned a roster spot. This guy has been impressing me all preseason. His first series in the game tonight, he's solid against the run, and now he's out there passing situation. He really comes to life. He added about 15 pounds of muscle, but he's still moving like a safety. That's how he was built when he first came into the league. But my goodness, all over the field, showing why he's hungry to stay in Atlanta.
Dustin Hopkins from 29. And that kick is good. So now Hopkins is 2 for 2 on field goals, but how about Dan Quinn's defense? They faced a 1st and goal from the 1, a couple of stuffs, really 3 stuffs. Well, 2 stuffs and then the holding penalty, and now that play by Jermaine Grace to force the field goal.
That man, Dan Quinn, we're already seeing his identity on this defense in a way we haven't before. This is his first full season where he's going to be the coordinator. He's in the meetings room with them every day. He doesn't have to spread out his time anymore. Remember last preseason, the backups really struggled, and we said there's going to be an issue if there are some injuries. Well, guess what? There were. The backups came in. They weren't playing well. From the starters to every backup who's come in, we've seen very positive play on the defensive side of the ball. Dan Quinn has to be feeling really good about how his men are playing tonight.
Coy, to go back to that last play by Jermaine Grace, when you're in space like that, sometimes it's hard for linebackers to understand awareness, what's around them. He does a good job of understanding route concept behind him and makes a great play on the football. That's something that's hard to teach from different linebackers.
He was a practice squad player last year. Hopkins to Ito Smith, and that'll be a touchback. Let's take a look at our Toyota player profile featuring Falcons offensive lineman Jamon Brown, a 2015 third-round pick of the then St. Louis Rams. Signed a 3-year contract with the Falcons on March 14th. And this is a guy who has been brought in to add more depth to that offensive line. 6'4", 340 pounds.
Yeah, they wanted to get bigger up front for pass protection, but also the run game. This is a guy who blocked for Offensive Rookie of the Year, Saquon Barkley, last year. Huge boosts in yards per carry when Brown was in the game. He and James Carpenter, they're in a battle for that left guard spot. I talked to Dan Quinn before the game. Up for grabs. They've been splitting time early here in this game.
Holding, defense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's against Marquise Flowers as he held Ito Smith. So now it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30. 1 timeout remaining. Remember, Dan Quinn called those timeouts hoping he could get this first unit with Matt Ryan on the field back out before halftime. Ryan pumps. Ryan on the run, throws this one away. Stops the clock at 1:08. Matt Ryan, really, if you think about this offense for the Falcons, he was perfect in that first quarter. They had nothing to show for it. But Matt Ryan, like we saw last week, when he has time, he's awesome. When he doesn't have time, he's still making plays.
Yes, again, last year the team didn't do that well, but he put up MVP caliber numbers despite it.
Gets rid of it quickly, nearly intercepted by Landon Collins. He was looking for Calvin Ridley.
That's a playmaker on defense. You have to be aware of where he is at all times. You can see Matt thought he had an open receiver, but that space eaten up right away by a guy who really knows how to play the football. Matt probably could have let him a bit more. He was sensing that corner off to the right side of the field, but heck of a play by Collins.
Ryan Hill comes in on 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. Ryan has to get rid of it. He does down the sideline, laying out incomplete. Christian Blake. That would have been a heck of a catch. Josh Norman, he was the high-priced free agent acquisition a couple years ago, was there on the coverage.
Yeah, Christian Blake, an opportunity to make a very impressionable play right there. Matt threw him open.
Yeah.
He trusted the speed. He knows he has it. And you can see him just take off away from Norman, and Matt put it right where it needed to be. Blake just barely missing that opportunity.
Honestly, I think his knee hitting the ground first threw off his eyes. Bosher punting. Greg Stroman from the 20. Stroman. Great pursuits by Del'Shawn Phillips after a 40-yard punt. And this is just a friendly reminder to download the Falcons app at atlantafalcons.com/mobile-apps. Get all the official Falcons content pushed straight to your phone. Go download the app right now. 43 seconds to go here for the Redskins, down by 1 in the first half. They do have 2 timeouts remaining. It was a 12-yard return, but Del'Shawn Phillips, really good pursuit. The rookie out of Illinois. Keenum in the shotgun. Setting up the screen, and there's nowhere to go for Chris Thompson. It's going to be a loss of 3 on the play.
We're getting a good look at the first look of Rashid Hegman. Great pursuit on that, recognition of the screen. He's not eligible the first 2 games of the season. This is his opportunity to prove he's worth keeping around.
Keenum again goes to Thompson. And Thompson gets 7. Let's see if the Redskins use a timeout. They will, to stop the clock with 15 seconds to go.
Timeout Washington, their second timeout. 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 16 seconds.
Time for Winning in the Trenches, presented by Georgia Power. Let's check out Falcons linebacker Devondre Campbell. We saw Campbell leave the game earlier, but this was a guy who was a fourth-round pick of the Falcons back in 2016. 234 career tackles, 2 forced fumbles in his career, has started 39 of his 43 games played. And Devondre Campbell, part of that linebacking core with Deion Jones, Vic Beasley. We haven't seen Foye Olukun this preseason, but that's another one. Screen pass to Kidsey. And Kidsey, he'll get 5. And the Redskins will not call a timeout. They will head into the locker room. The Falcons have a first half lead. Thanks to a turnover that led to a touchdown. The touchdown 5-yard run by Ito Smith. 7-6 Falcons on top of the Redskins. We will be back after the short timeout here in Atlanta.
Atlanta Falcons preseason football is sponsored in part by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
We're back here in Atlanta as we get set to start the third quarter. 7-6. The Falcons on top of the Redskins as we welcome in Dan Roback. And Dan, you are the VP of ticket sales here with the Falcons. Obviously, such incredible stuff has taken place here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium since its inception. One of the things I want to focus on, the season ticket fan base.
Right.
Where are you right now? How strong is it? Why is it so strong?
So it's great, and I think what we continue to do is listen to our fans and listen to what they want. And so it's crazy to think that this, tonight is only our 22nd home game here. And every time we just keep listening and how it can be better.
Okay, so how it can be better. The benefits of being a season ticket holder. What have you learned from that? How have you improved it?
So they've wanted access, so we continue to throw out off-season events where they have private access, both here at the stadium. We did a private event in Flowery Branch in minicamp, and we just continue to learn whether it's a merchandise discount that we threw out there last week, 50% off for 24 hours. We announced a huge country concert on Monday that we have an on-sale actually tomorrow, and our PSL owners, all of those PSL members get first rights to purchase seats. So November 15th when Keith Urban and Blake Shelton, and then on the 17th, Eric Church comes here, Luke Combs. PSL owners all get first rights to those seats.
You know I'm a huge country guy.
I did not know that.
So,
nice.
So you're speaking my language right now.
Good. On sale tomorrow at 10 o'clock, right?
Giorgio Tavecchio will kick off here for the Falcons to open up the third quarter. Byron Marshall has some trouble with the kickoff, able to get it, and Marshall will be over and taken down at the 19-yard line. Let's talk about those PSL sales. How are those going?
So strong, so really strong. We have a few hundred left. Okay. That in the last 3 to 4 weeks we'll continue to grind through. Our fans have been really, really excited as we turn that August page. You have a lot more people that are calling us that once football's in the air, people are here, and so our fan base, top 10, strongest we've ever been. 2 retentions. Last 2 seasons, we've had the highest retention we've ever had on our member base.
Wow. Dwayne Haskins is now in at quarterback for the Redskins, the first-round pick of Washington this year. And on first down, the handoff is to Samaje Perine. And Perine gets 6. We're speaking with Dan Roback, the VP of Ticket Sales and Service here for A&B Sports and Entertainment. We talked about all these changes, what's going on. How about what can the fans expect this season here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
Yeah, so we are continuing to reinvent what game day is here. We hear from our fans, they want this building to be energetic, they want it to be loud. We talk to our players, our coaches, they want it to be energetic, they want it to be loud. And so it's all about, starts with getting everybody here early. And so everything's centered around making sure all of our fans are here at kickoff. And we've completely reinvented what that lead off to kickoff is.
Don Roback again joining us here on the broadcast. They're the fans right now. I have to admit, we've been able to sample a bunch of the food up here in the booth.
Oh, nicely done.
It is unmatched anywhere else. I mean, this is just phenomenal.
It is, and sometimes the restaurants and the food and the bars here sometimes work against our fans being in their seats, so they need to come early, eat your $1.75 hot dog early, and then grab your beer and make sure you're here for kickoff.
On 3rd and 2, a stop here again. The defense for the Falcons stepping up yet again. They're going to force a 3-and-out. Don, we appreciate you stopping by and helping us know what's going on with the season tickets. We know they're strong. We know they're going to get even better, and keep up the great work, because this place is something special.
It is. No, I appreciate it very much.
Back to receive is Marcus Green. Tress Way will punt to him. The 3-and-out forced by this Falcons defense. Way able to get the punt off. Green backing up, has some trouble, muffs it, and that's going to be recovered, I believe, by the Redskins. A 52-yard punt, and Marcus Green could not corral it. Special teams, such a vital part, and it is recovered by the Redskins. Green knocked it away.
During the kick, holding number 50. Half the distance to the goal. Atlanta keeps the ball. First down.
Troy Apke is the one who eventually recovered the muff punt by Marcus Green. So if you're Marcus Green right now, and this being the 3rd preseason game, a chance to make a name for yourself in that receiving special teams game, Coy Wire, and that's the last thing that he wants to have happen.
To me, with that dropped punt, he dropped his opportunity to solidify that position. He had a drop earlier in this preseason as well.
Holding, receiving team number 50. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a fumble recovery by Washington. First down.
He hasn't looked comfortable at the punt returner position in my mind all preseason. Never really having his feet set, having trouble judge the ball essentially. So we may not see him with any more opportunities to earn that punt return spot. In for offense for the for Washington, Dwayne Haskins at quarterback. A new look for the defense.
So after that muff punt, it's now 1st and 10 from the Falcons' 17-yard line. Haskins, the handoff here to Pirine. A 4-yard pickup. Pirine's helmet comes off, and let's check in with Jen Hale.
Justin, you were talking earlier about what a great facility this Mercedes-Benz Stadium is. Indeed, yes. But the retractable roof, as beautiful as it is a distracting background. So special teams coordinator Ben Kawika has been bringing in his kickers and his return men, like Marcus Green, once a week to have them practice in here against that ceiling. So hopefully they would not be distracted by it. He plans to do the same thing during the regular season. Obviously, it didn't help Marcus Green there, but could prove to be a dome field advantage, so to speak, for the Falcons going forward.
Yeah, and actually, we saw Marcus Green when he went to the sideline looking up at the roof. But again, it's a problem. And after that penalty, it's 1st and goal from the 6. Pirine. Samaje Pirine is down at the 3. He gets 3. The defense having to step up again right now for the Falcons.
To end the half, earlier they were backed up here at the other goal line. A great stand. They forced a penalty, pushing Washington back. Here's another opportunity for some of these young players to make a name for themselves.
2nd and goal from the 3. Pirine. Pirine keeps the legs churning, and Pirine, let's see. There it is. Touchdown. 3-yard touchdown run for Samaje Pirine. So the muff punt comes back to hurt the Falcons.
You can see a difference. You have some new defensive linemen in there. Hegman getting his first opportunity for the Falcons. Not nearly as stout as that last group we saw in there. getting a lot of movement from Washington for that touchdown.
And now Dustin Hopkins will wait for the touchdown to be confirmed, and then he will attempt the extra point. Think about the 2 touchdowns in this game. One came after an interception, and now the other one comes off a muff punt. And Hopkins on to make it a 13-7 Redskins lead. And he does just that. Marcus Green with a muff punt. Samaje Perine takes advantage. 13-7 Redskins now lead. It's now 13-7 Redskins over the Falcons. Look who's back to receive this kick, Marcus Green. Remember, he just muffed that punt that led to the touchdown. Dustin Hopkins to kick off to him. And he will not get a chance to return this one. Time for the Equifax sideline report. Let's go down to DJ Shockley.
Guys, I had a chance to talk to Coach Quinn coming out of the halftime, and he talked about some things that he did like. Even though they weren't able to get the goal line stand there, he said the goal line stand before halftime was really big. It was the toughness, the physicality that they talked about all throughout camp. And then he also talked about paying off the turnover, getting 6 points. One thing he wants to see get better in the second half is the third down execution. If they can convert some third downs on offense, that'll be huge, and that's the thing they really want to work on.
All right, thank you very much, Shock. As we have a new quarterback in, it's Danny Etling, who they acquired in a trade from the New England Patriots. And here on first down, it's Quadri Allison on the carry. He'll get a couple of yards. And this is one of those battles that we talked about before, is the running back position. Obviously, we know Devontae Freeman is going to be the guy, but who's going to be his backup? Will there be a third running back?
Well, to me, Ito Smith has kind of solidified himself as the number 2 back for this offense. He proved he could do it a year ago. He now has 3 touchdowns this preseason. Talking to some of the coaches within the organization, they say they have a really tough decision so far between Brian Hill and Quadri Allison. Allison getting his chance now.
Allison, a run up the middle across the 30. He gets 4 more. Ryan Anderson with the tackle. All right, as we're looking at Allison, just want to get your thoughts on what you saw from the first team offense in that first half.
They looked outstanding the first drive. Matt Ryan 8 for 8 till they stalled themselves with a penalty. Were forced to kick a field goal, which they missed. So they came back and were very resilient. Looked outstanding in the run game, mauling defenders, gave Matt Ryan time to throw. It's just about execution now.
Etling scrambling. Etling, he's going to get the first down. A guy who was being moved over to wide receiver with the Patriots, back in at quarterback, gets 7, gets a first down. He's just learning the offense here for the Falcons, and he played college at LSU, and it's like, hey, we're going to scratch the wide receiver thing. You're going to go back, and now you're the third string quarterback with Matt Sims being out.
He has 2 weeks to make an impression. You know, Quinn said that they thought he could create on the run. He can get out of the pocket, so it's worth bringing him in after the Bankert injury, and we just saw him take off and pick up a first down with his legs.
Allison makes one-man miss. He's up to the 44 for 7. For more on Etling, let's go down to Jen.
Justin, the Falcons first noticed Etling when they went to LSU to scout Russell Gage, and he impressed them then. They thought that he was not only capable, but would also be a good scout team quarterback, able to simulate a lot of the mobile quarterbacks they face. You mentioned his time with the Patriots. He won a Super Bowl, got to study under Tom Brady, and he says that has really helped him turn the corner in his career, helped him grow up and see the football lens in a totally different light. We'll see if it pays off here on the field.
Has not yet attempted a pass, doesn't have to because of the work here by Quadri Allison, who just got 7 more, another first down into Redskins territory.
What I like watching Allison, what I like is we haven't seen this type of back in Atlanta for quite some time. A big back, getting the tough yards. There was not much there. He broke a tackle, drove a pile at the end of it. He's always falling forward. I mean, coming into this game, Ollison had 87 total rush yards. That's fourth most of any runner in the league. So he's performing when his number's called upon.
Tony Brooks James is now in at tailback. And it's Brooks James taking the handoff. Watch out. We're getting some extra pushing and shoving after the whistle. No flags. 5 yards here for Brooks James.
Brooks James had 15 snaps last week, 5 rushes, a couple of receptions for 16 yards. He's a smaller guy, 5'9", 180 pounds. Rookie out of Oregon, can really fly when he gets some space.
Devontae Freeman, small in height, not small in stature though. He's gotten strong. Etling, he's in trouble. Pocket collapses. Flag comes flying in for the secondary. He gets sacked for a loss of 3, but let's wait to see what this flag is.
Holding, defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's against Austin Maloata out of Austin P.
Number 67 is an eligible receiver. 67 is eligible.
That's Diego Joseph for the Falcons as the eligible receiver. We have not yet seen Etling attempt to pass. Every play has been a run. Ollison again, and Ollison, it looked like he may have had his face mask ripped, but no flag as he gets 2 yards. B.J. Blunt with a not so blunt tackle.
Yeah, you go back to that previous play where he ended up getting the penalty. And we talked about Etling not being comfortable in this system. He had a free access, what we call is, he had a quick speed out going to the left side, and he just did not want to pull the trigger. Not all the way comfortable to throw the football. As soon as he came off, quarterback's coach Greg Knapp said, just let it fly, throw it. So he's still trying to find his way in this offense and not just comfortable yet.
Back to pass here. He gets hit, he fumbles, and it looks like the Falcons have recovered. A loss of 4, but more importantly, they're able to recover. Casanova McKenzie is the one who forced the fumble.
Not ideal circumstances for Etling, right? As you mentioned, just picked up last week from New England, doesn't know this system, and he's out there in a 3rd preseason game trying to figure out where these routes are going. We might see a lot of opportunity in the run game, get a look at some of these depth players at running back, but at some point you're going to have to throw the rock.
Jalen Robinson recovered the fumble. Here is Etling again to pass, stepping up. Pumps, throws high, incomplete for Olamide Zaccheaus. And that's that inexperience, the nerves right there for Danny Etling. Well, what's going to be a lot harder for the running backs like Quadre Ollison is they're going to load the box against him soon.
Yeah, you're going to have to throw it at some point, but it may give us an opportunity to see what some of these depth running backs can do.
Bosher to punt. Steven Sims, fair catch at the 15-yard line. There is a flag with 5:52 to go here in this 3rd quarter.
Personal foul, chop block, kicking team, number 25. The 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Washington keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
That's called against Ito Smith there on special teams. 13-7, Redskins lead. More than halfway through this 3rd quarter, the Redskins on top of the Falcons now 13-7. Both teams looking for their first preseason victory of the year. Dwayne Haskins, he'll see the majority of this time at quarterback for the Redskins. And we've got a flag here on the first play. It's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's against Wes Martin on the offensive line.
We just set the game clock to 5:52. Thank you.
It's very polite of Jerome Boger. He asked for the play clock to be reset, the game clock, and they do it. Thank you. Good manners. Byron Marshall, the tailback now for the Redskins. Marshall takes the handoff, tries getting outside. Good containment. Swarming to the ball, a loss of 1. Del'Shawn Phillips was there. Duke Riley was there.
Yeah. Ryan Neal's been picked on in the pass game, but excellent job keeping contained. It's his one responsibility when he sees it to run. Duke Riley flashing quite a bit in this game. Couple of big stops on short yardage situations, showing his speed and athleticism there, working around blockers to finish off the ball carrier.
Now 2nd down and 16. Haskins completes this pass to J.P. Holtz, and Holtz able to get 12 of those 16 yards back, so 3rd and 4 coming up. Jordan Miller finally able to bring him down. J.P. Holtz, a big guy, 6'3", 240. And let's see if this defense can do it again for Dan Quinn. A stop on 3rd down. The Redskins 1 for 6 on 3rd down here tonight. Pressure coming. Haskins gets rid of it, and it's dropped. Matt Flanagan had it in his hands and just dropped it.
Dan Quinn playing very aggressive on a 3rd down there, man-to-man across the board. Brought some heat. Ball had to come out quick. Defense getting off the field on 3rd down.
Olamide Zaccheaus is now the return man here for the Falcons. With Tressway on the punt. Zaccheaus, fair catch signaled, trying to get to it. He muffs it, and that's recovered by the Redskins. Robert Davis recovers it.
So here's another young player trying to make an impression as a punt returner. Like Marcus Green, he also put a punt on the ground earlier in the preseason. He was able to recover it, but they're just showing their inexperience. I know there's talk about the dome, but the other teams have to make the catches in here well, and the punt returns they dropped earlier in the preseason were not here. So it's just showing inexperience. You have players like Justin Hardy, you have a Kenyon Barner who's proven they can do it. That's the thing Falcons fans need to remember right now. They're not relying completely on Zaccheaus and Marcus Green to be the returners at the punt.
That's a 2nd muff punt in the red zone for the Falcons, which gives the ball back to the Redskins at the 18-yard line.
That's the worst feeling as a defense. You get off the field, you think you're going to go get some oxygen, and then you're right back out there.
Haskins tripped as he handed that ball off to Marshall. There's Duke Riley again. That was a one-arm tackle against a 225-pound running back.
Here's on the sideline conversation, Olamide Zaccheaus. You see the coaches pointing up to the ceiling, and so you're thinking maybe Zaccheaus said that was the issue. He lost it in the roof somehow.
So do you think we can talk to Mr. Blank and have it opened when the Falcons receive and closed when the opposition receives?
I'll text him right now. Next commercial break, I'm going to ask if they can open it for our punt returner's sake.
On 2nd down and 5, it's Marshall. And Marshall, he's going to have the 1st down. He gets 6 yards. That'll move the change. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7.
Backup defensive line has really given up a lot of ground yard, right? Since they've come in, they've been resilient though when they've needed to. Pass game, they've been decent. You see what Haskins can do, the rookie down here in a red zone situation.
Haskins will pass to Marshall, and guess who's there? Jermaine Grace again. He's everywhere.
Second time he's been shot out of a cannon in the pass game. Third time, really. First time was a deflection, and then we've seen 2 hits like this. I mean, this is a knockback right here of a big back. Jermaine Grace just all over the field. I want him on my team.
And this just shows the versatility. The other time he was in zone coverage. This time he was in man coverage. Just showing he can get it done in multiple ways.
2nd and goal from the 5. Haskins with time. Now he's forced out. Being chased. Buying time. Goes to the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Was looking for Steven Sims. 3rd and goal coming up.
The depth of this defense, they show a lot of fight. And we've seen that every week in the preseason, especially this game, though. Their backs are against the wall, and they seem to just rise up and get on the attack. Duke Riley has been a standout so far in the run game. He right now is the leader out there, the veteran, former 2nd-round pick at LSU.
The rise up, that was no pun intended, was it? 3rd and goal from the 5. Haskins, the quick throw, incomplete. Looking for Sims again. The defense does the job again. And the Redskins are holding up 3 fingers. They're going to go for a field goal.
2 really big wins for this young defense. Before the half, the goal line stand, Dan Quinn, you see who he went over to congratulate, continuing to make plays. Jermaine Grace, that's outstanding coaching by Dan Quinn. I mean, it's execution, it's attention to detail. All of that is needed when you want to be resilient and stop a big offensive push.
Hopkins from 23 converts, but the defense does the job. It was another red zone muff punt, but only 3 points for the Redskins. Here with 1:59 to go in the 3rd quarter, 16-7, the Redskins now lead the Falcons. Dustin Hopkins will kick off. Marcus Green is back, and again, he will not get a chance to return this kickoff. Time now, we'll go down to the field. Jen Hale has this Falcon story brought to you by AT&T.
Justin, before Ben Kawika held the title of football coach, he was a captain in the U.S. Army, a pilot of the Apache attack helicopter, as a matter of fact. He logged more than 1,000 combat hours in Iraq and Kuwait. Dangerous missions in which he had to have other people depended on him to save their lives. Certainly a very brave soldier and a man whose military roots run deep. He also attended West Point. He played linebacker there. He helped the Commander-in-Chief's trophy in 1996. And guess who his coach was? None other than Bob Sutton. So their history goes back not just through the Falcons and Jets, but also their days together at West Point, Justin.
That's pretty cool, and obviously thank you so much for the service. Now here he is coaching here against his former team. Spent the last 5 years with the Redskins. Pre-game was talking with a lot of the players and coaches. And now on the sidelines trying to figure out the punt situation, the return game for this Falcons team, as Etling just ran for 18 yards. The handoff here to Ollison up the middle. He gets to midfield and just beyond.
Running a little zone read action with Etling in the game. Playing to his strengths. But Ollison getting these quality reps. I mean, really, he and Brian Hill in a tight battle for that, in my opinion, 3rd running back position. To me, Ito Smith has proven he's your backup to Devontae Freeman.
2nd down and 3, under a minute to play here in the quarter. Ollison again. And Ollison, look how he just got low. Fell forward, gets 4 in the 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about his size. He's fitting the mold of the new offense this Falcons organization wants to be able to morph into on the 3rd and short situations. And there he was, I mean, a 3rd and 3, and he's just falling forward for about a gain of 6. So it's a good look to be able to have that in your arsenal when you need it. A change of pace back who can move piles and get you the tough yards.
Hands off to Brooks James, tries to get outside, and Brooks James will get a couple of yards to close out this third quarter. The clock will hit 0 with the Redskins leading 16-7 back after the short timeout.
Third quarter.
It is the start of the fourth quarter here in the third preseason game of the year. The Redskins lead the Falcons 16-7. We're joined up here in the booth by the CEO of the A&B Group, Steve Cannon. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Always love coming here to Mercedes-Benz Stadium for so many different reasons. Obviously watching the Falcons, the Atlanta United. Right now the Falcons have the ball, but one thing that you guys have done this year is Ollison with a great run here on second down picks up the first down. Beautiful. Is the concession prices have dropped yet again, but you've gone cashless. Take us through why you went cashless and how successful it's been.
You know, it starts with a respect for the fan. You know, we want them when they come here to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to have an unbelievable time. First of all, we're not going to extract too much money out of their wallet. We want to say, hey, look, thank you for coming downtown. Thank you for being part of the Falcons, for Atlanta United. So when you're here, we're going to honor and respect you. Our pricing's part of that. Transactions, the cashless is all about how can we speed the transaction. So it's frustrating if you want that $1.50 hot dog, but you got to wait on a long line and you can't get there. So this is all about the fan and speeding transactions.
It is amazing. Hot dogs used to be $2. Now they're $1.50. That was a holding, so it's second down and 18. Etling just trying to buy extra time. That is incomplete, looking for his running back. We've talked a lot throughout this broadcast. Jen Hale has mentioned it last time. The new app. It is pretty incredible what you guys have done with the app. Where did it all come from? Again, I kind of know it's going to be the fans again because that's everything that you guys do, but the success that you've had with it.
Look, the most powerful connection to our fans is having real estate on their home screen. And if we can create an experience that brings the brand, the Falcons, to life 7 days a week, and when they're here at the stadium, it unlocks all the value here in the stadium. That's kind of the future, and we've got a wonderful development roadmap for that app. And we want that app to be the key interface connection to our fans.
Here on 3rd and 18, Etling is going to run with it, and Etling is going to be taken down shy of that first down marker, so the Falcons will be forced to punt. Steve, if you don't mind, after the punt, would you mind sticking around for some more?
Sure thing.
Awesome. Etling, who was again acquired in a trade from the New England Patriots. On to punt here is Bosher. Back to return is Steven Sims in a 16-7 game. 4th and 14 here for the Falcons. We're speaking with the CEO, Steve Cannon, here. He's going to stick around as Bosher gets the punt off. Fair catch is signaled by Sims, and he makes it at the 10. We've talked about the app. This is what it looks like. Scroll through, have some fun, and come join us at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Talked about this group in the open, the offensive line group being coached here in the fourth quarter. 13:44 to go. Redskins on top of the Falcons 16-7. We're joined up here in the booth by the CEO of the A&B Group, Steve Cannon. We're talking about different aspects of the stadium, different aspects of what makes this franchise so fan-friendly and also successful. As under center is Haskins, and Haskins, we've got a flag on the play, the handoff to Craig Reynolds. One of the aspects that we have yet to talk about, Steve, is the digital ticketing. And growing up, I always had a ticket in my hands. Now you just get it on your phone or on an app. What has led to the success of that?
Look, we're at the point where people are comfortable. They don't go anywhere without their smartphones. It's kind of a needed device every single day, and it's their device of choice. And if we can make things like tickets and ticket transfer to your friends, now you don't have paper, you don't need to hand it off to someone, you can just swipe and it's there. That's the direction of travel in this business. How can we take away pain points and make it easy and simple when you come to Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
So you've done all this work. How much of it is just doing surveys with fans, whether it's here in the stadium or online or through the app itself?
we talk to our fans all the time. We've got this very robust fan council. They are very opinionated, and when we ask them questions, they give us very direct answers. So we're smart enough to know.
As Haskins gets rid of it and completes the pass here to Kelvin Harmon for the first down.
We're smart enough to know that they know things better than we do. So all we need to do is ask them and then respond to what they tell us. And we're pretty good at that. We curated the entire food and beverage menu. Every step of the way, our fan base was telling us what direction to go. And we turn to them all the time for all of our key decisions because it's really about them. And they know better than we do.
As a matter of fact, Coy, I just learned this, but did you know there's a vegan hot dog here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
What's that? I don't know what a vegan hot dog is.
It's a meatless hot dog.
Oh, good for those who enjoy the.
Yeah,
of course they would have that too.
I think we sell 4 of them per game.
How many of those do you eat? Just learned that Steve gave up meat a couple years ago, so of those 4, he takes down 2 of those per game.
There you go.
I'm going to embarrass you a bit here because this is one of my favorite things about Steve Cannon. Decades ago, he set a record at West Point, 132 minutes. It's the test that they use there. It has stood the test of time. He's still the record holder.
But it didn't pass the Coy test because Coy heard about it and said, I'm going to recreate that. And he came back to me a couple months later and said, I beat it.
That's fantastic.
I wasn't going to say that.
Okay, so wait, how many did you have in 2 minutes?
I'm not going to say because mine was not official. Mine was not official. It was poolside after, some beverages, so I may have miscounted.
I mean, I know you went to Stanford, but I wouldn't put it past you.
Right.
I think you may have miscounted.
No, Steve, it's incredible leadership that you bring to this organization. It shows you're never content. You're always looking to see how you can improve, what you can do better. It's been a great addition having you here the past several years.
Love being here, love being in Atlanta, love working for a guy like Arthur Blank. There is no finish line. We're never done, and there's always going to be a way to find a better answer.
Here on 2nd down and 6, play action. Haskins overthrows his receiver, Cam Sims. You just brought something up about you're never satisfied. You're always looking for the next thing. I know that's Arthur Blank, but how much of that is from your background being in the Army and doing that kind of stuff?
Look, it's about being uncomfortable and a little bit restless and knowing that, look, our fans have a choice. There's an 80-inch flat screen in almost every TV in America, and if they decide to just stay on the couch, we have a problem here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So if we're not continuously innovating, looking for a better way to make this experience better, they might just decide to stay home.
And in case you're wondering, that halo, as this ball is knocked down, there is a flag coming in late in the secondary, and that's going to be holding against the Falcons, so this will extend the drive. But that halo that goes around, you may have 4K at home. That's 10K. Like, that's unbelievable.
Again, you got to be bigger than life if you want to get people downtown off the couch. And if they're 8-screen 4K TV, 80-inch 4K TV at home, that's awfully good. We've got to be better.
When I learned about that, I was amazed. I mean, and what I love about the halo here, is it doesn't take away from what's going on the field. You actually look up and you see it, you're like, wow, that's great, but the field is where the focus is. After that holding call, it's a first off to Craig Reynolds. He gets 3.
So the halo brings the game to life in a really unique way. It's designed for secondary viewing. We don't want people watching TV in our stadium, which happens in some other stadiums. So it's just beautifully designed. And whenever people want a little bit more information, all they have to do is look up, and it opens up the space in a really nice way.
2nd down and 7 now for the Redskins. Again, we're speaking with the CEO, Steve Cannon, here in this 4th quarter. Haskins, pass, a one-handed grab made by Cam Sims. He's trying to make the highlight reel right there. You do realize that when we go to break and we let Steve go, there's going to be a push-up contest between the two of you.
You know I'm wearing a suit and how tight I buy my suits, Justin. I'm going to rip it. We'll have no post-game show.
You know, I got a couple years. He's going to have to give me a pretty big handicap on that one. Sorry, Coy.
I might have a chance now, this Beacon thing you're trying out.
3rd and 3. Coy loaded up on carbs before the game. Haskins caught again by Sims, who gets flipped over, yet still catches, hangs on for the first down. Tevez Calhoun is down after a 16-yard pickup.
That's a big collision. I hope he's okay.
As they tend to Calhoun, we hope he's all right. Steve, thank you for joining us. We're going to take one look at this. He did take a leg to the face mask. Steve, thanks for joining us here. Hopefully an update on Calhoun when we come back.
Thanks, Justin.
It's a good sign seeing Tevez Calhoun get up off the turf. This is what happened. Took a knee to the head. You see his head snap back. Cam Sims. And he was laying down on the ground for a short while. Everybody was looking on anxiously. He sat up and he was helped up. And we're just happy to see that. It is 1st and 10 from the 25 of the Falcons for the Redskins. Empty backfield now for Haskins. Haskins pressured, gets hit as he throws, and that is juggled and incomplete. Kelvin Harmon, the intended receiver. The pressure coming off the edge was applied by Delshon Phillips.
Yeah, unblocked on this one. Free run at the quarterback. They tried to spread out, go empty. It was man-to-man across the board. Pretty good coverage by the Falcons.
2nd down and 10 now. The handoff to Reynolds. And Reynolds will take it down to the 22, picks up 3, 3rd and 7 coming up. Uric Bethune on the tackle.
Again, 3rd down all preseason for Atlanta. One of the best in the league all preseason. They're allowing just 6 yards per catch in the pass game, and that's any down. So they've been very sound, whether they've been man and they're pressuring the quarterback and there's DBs are challenged, or whether they're in zone, understanding the concepts of where receivers are going. Outstanding work all preseason by the defense.
Here now on 3rd and 7. Haskins takes the shot to the end zone. That's through the hands of Robert Davis. Jason Stanley there on the coverage. Tevez Calhoun, we saw him get the knee to the head. He is going off, going into concussion protocol right now for the Falcons. But just seeing him move this way, it's a relief.
Yeah, that was a scary hit, big collision. Positive sign seeing him up and moving around.
A 40-yard attempt now for Dustin Hopkins, who's 3 of 3, 48, 29, 23. And Hopkins is now 4 for 4. 19-7, Redskins lead the Falcons here in the 4th quarter. 8:21 to go here in the 4th. Marcus Green is back to return this kick. He's been back ever since he muffed the punt, but he has not had a chance yet to return a kick since then. Dustin Hopkins to kick off for the Redskins. And this may be returnable. Green from a couple yards deep. Green, a vicious collision at around the 20-yard line. And time now for tonight's Nissan Game Changer. It is cornerback Desmond Trufant. All rookie team back in 13. He and his brothers. It's a pretty athletic family. A 2015 Pro Bowler. Has started every game he has played in. And certainly a force to be reckoned with in the secondary.
Trufant looked really good last week, was challenged several times, made some big stops on 3rd down when they tried to throw his way. Looking like regular season form.
Fumble, ball comes loose. This one is scooped up. And the ball comes loose again. Let's see.
It's going to be Falcons ball.
The hat is off.
Good hustle.
Zacchaeus. You see the Falcons saying it should be a touchback. It should be their ball. The officials are getting together. It was Ashton Lampkin who scooped it up and took it in. And let's see.
The rule on the field is that we have a fumble recovered by the defense, and during the advance, the runner fumbled the ball prior to going into the end zone, and the ball ultimately went out of bounds, resulting in a touchback. It will be Atlanta's ball, 1st and 10 at the 20.
This will obviously be reviewed.
It's Allison on the carry there. You can see the defenders ripping at the ball. And watch this hustle by Zacchaeus. That is outstanding effort for a guy who muffed a punt earlier. It caused a turnover. And here he is doing whatever he can to prevent this play from becoming drastic.
And that's where the ball was coming loose, no doubt. No doubt about it.
The previous play is under review.
The replay official is Roddy Ames, but this should be a pretty quick review. Olamide Zacchaeus trying to make his presence noticed here in the preseason. We'll have the call when we come back. Back here in Atlanta, Allison, question was his knee down? No. The ball came loose. There was the hustle play by Zacchaeus. It is a touchback, and the Falcons have the ball back at the 20, and now getting sacked is Danny Etling. Casanova McKenzie again with a good play here for the Redskins. A loss of 9. And quite frankly, for all the Falcons fans out there might be getting frustrated right now with what they're seeing offensively, this is what the coaching staff, for the most part, expected. I mean, you're bringing in a guy like Danny Etling, who has essentially zero familiarity with the offense. A guy who is playing wide receiver, now going back to quarterback. You couldn't expect huge things from him, as Tony Brooks-James, a good run up the middle. 10 yards. You know, when Matt Sims came in week 1, Sims at least knew the offense from past years. Etling did not.
Yeah, we're seeing a very trimmed down version of this offense. We're even seeing some plays that they put in just for Etling. They were running a bit of a zone read to allow him to run the ball. And so, yeah, this is a part of the game perhaps to be ignored from a quarterback's perspective, a play calling perspective. The focus should be earlier in this game when both offense and defense made some positive steps.
Etling on 3rd and 9. Trying to get out and run and diving towards the first down marker, and they're going to give him the first down. A 10-yard run as we go downstairs. DJ Shockley's got a special guest.
Hey guys, I'm down here with the heart and soul of the Falcons defense, Ricardo Allen. Ricardo, obviously everybody was devastated last year with the Achilles injury. Talk about that process of what you had to go through and how are you feeling now?
Oh man, it was you know, last year when you go through an injury, man, it's always gonna be tough, man. It was my first time, you know, ever being injured. But, you know, man, I took it day by day, man. I leaned on my team, man. I try to stay around and just try to keep learning, man. There wasn't much I could do, but just being able to go through that process, you know, enjoying, you know, and feeling how much, you know, I enjoy football. And I know I enjoy football. So it's just great to be back, man. The process was long, but, man, I'm here now.
If anybody watched the Falcons game and they watch how you communicate, I see you running up telling Debo to move, you're talking to True. Talk about that communication that you have and the pride you have in your defense, and how good can this defense be now that Coach Quinn now is calling the plays?
Oh yeah, man. You know, I take a lot of pride in, you know, just being the guy that like align people, put people in the right spot, man. Try to help my brothers because I'm in the deep spot. I'm in the deepest part of the field, so I can see it all. I do a lot of studying, man. I'm always studying offense. I'm always studying what people are trying to do to us. So if I can maybe pick up on, you know, 5 to 10 plays a game, maybe, you know, make some big plays on 3rd down, you know, tell other guys around me to be able to make plays and make things faster, man. That's what, you know, I do. It's a game. You know, I do my 1/11th of a team. I try to bring what I can to the game, man, and it's all good.
You're talking about studying the early offense. I don't think a lot of people know you want to be an offensive coordinator, right? You want to be an offensive coordinator. And this offseason, you went into the offensive meeting rooms, you sat down with Matt Ryan. Talk about that experience and how that makes you a better player, and also, hey, maybe later on be an offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, man. It just, you know, just bringing as much as I can to myself, man. Just try to, you know, study and learn as much as I can from every side of the game. I'm a free safety, so majority of the time, the quarterback is usually reading me. So if I can know, you know, exactly what his reads are, you know, his 1-2s and 3s, what he reading at a man in zone, you know, his hitches, you know, the things that he go through, what he's reading when he's going against us, man, it just makes things so much easier. And then later on, transitioning to football and to being an offensive coordinator maybe later on in life, man, that'll be pretty cool.
Well, I know all the Falcons fans are happy to have you back, man. Stay healthy this year, and good luck, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Joy, custom, Joy.
We're one. That's our nickname, Joy.
Justin and Cohen. I like it.
I came with that on the slide, guys. You guys didn't get that.
Shockley, great job with that interview and pulling out some of those details that allow us to see truly the type of person that Ricardo Allen is and what he brings to this team.
Entling again scrambling. You know, honestly, the person, if I were watching that interview, the person I'd want to know what he thought was Kevin Durant. An Achilles injury, how Ricardo's come back. I mean, he's back before even a full year playing football.
Yeah, he looks great physically. I mean, he's moving around really well. He's going to be such a great addition back into this defense. I mean, he's a true leader. I mean, I've never seen any other defender go and sit in offensive meeting rooms to better themselves and therefore better their defense and those around them. It's outstanding.
Ollison, he'll get a couple of yards, setting up 3rd down and 4. Quandre Ollison again. One of the battles in camp right now is who is going to be the 3rd running back. Can't speak for any of the coaches, but from what we've seen, it appears as if Devontae Freeman's 1, Ito Smith 2, and Ollison is 3.
Yeah. Ollison yet again making the most of these opportunities.
On 3rd and 3, he's going to get 1. 4th and 2, and I'm going to say they're going to go for it.
Remember, Ollison, as Jen reported last week, it was such joy, an emotional moment when he was drafted by the Falcons, hugging his mom, crying on draft day. They've been through so much. He lost his older brother back in 2017 when he was shot and killed by someone that Quandre was friends with in middle school. He wore his brother's number his senior year at Pitt. He runs angry now. He runs for something much bigger than himself.
He takes the handoff here on 4th and 2, and he pushes the chains as he gets 8.
I mean, he's like having an extra lineman out there, really. I mean, when there's not a hole, he can make one himself. He's pushing the pile. He's falling forward. There was an issue with the 3rd and short last year in terms of the run game for this offense. They tried to address it by getting bigger up front and bringing in a bigger back like Ollison. May pay off big dividends.
Entling again scrambling to get back to the line of scrimmage. He does just that. 2nd and 10 coming up. Our play of the game presented by the North Georgia Honda dealers. It was the goal line stand the defense made. Duke Riley came up with 1. And then this beautiful pass breakup by Jermaine Grace, the other.
Really exciting plays for this defense.
Entling able to complete the pass to Zacchaeus. But Zacchaeus got hit right away. Just a 3-yard pickup.
One thing to think about for Ollison here, these tough yards that he's been getting, despite the fact that the defense knows the Falcons aren't really going to throw. I mean, they have Entling in there at quarterback. They're daring him to throw the ball.
Watch this. Entling nearly escapes. Instead, it's Ryan B to drag him down. 2-minute warning here in Atlanta, with the Redskins on top 19-7. 1:57 to go here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Falcons trail the Redskins 19-7. And they're facing a 4th and 4. Danny Etling in at quarterback. We saw Matt Ryan, no Matt Schaub tonight. Etling has been in for the second half. Etling down the sideline, and that one is broken up. Intended for Devin Gray. And there was Dion Harris on the coverage. Let's go down to Jen Hale.
Justin, some good news for first-rounder Caleb McGarry, who had a heart ablation procedure to address an irregular heartbeat. He is now back doing individual drills with the team. I had a chance to visit with him pregame, and he said it feels so good just to be back out moving. He needed it mentally as much as he did physically. There has been some concern, gee, should the Falcons have taken him so high with this issue? But Caleb told me, hey, I've had 3 ablation procedures before this one. I know my body. This is in my wheelhouse. It's a very small temporary delay, and Justin, he plans to be back better than ever very shortly.
Yeah, the rookie out of Washington underwent the catheter ablation, but Jen, it is great news that he's going to be coming back. And when you think about the offensive line, drafting both he and Chris Lindstrom in the first round, adding guys like Jamon Brown, James Carpenter. I mean, this is what a focal point of the offseason was for Thomas Dimitroff, was to get bigger on that offensive line. Get bigger, get more athletic.
Really, I mean, nearly unprecedented what the Falcons did. Only the 4th time since 1970 has a team drafted 2 first-rounders for the offensive line. So an issue that they were determined to address, and they did in a big way through the draft and free agency.
Reynolds again on the carry. He gets 6. There's the offensive line led by Alex Mack, the center. We saw James Carpenter back in this game. Of course, Jake Matthews. Matthews, a former first-rounder. Chris Lindstrom this year, a first-rounder. And their job is to protect that quarterback, Matt Ryan, the MVP a couple years ago. Open up holes for that man right there. And just let this offense, with all its firepower, do what it is truly capable of doing. As the Redskins will go into victory formation here with 17 seconds to go. And the Redskins will get their first victory of the preseason. Don't forget to join us next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Falcons Preseason Network, when the Birds conclude the preseason at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The final score here tonight, Washington 19, Atlanta 7. For Coy Wire, DJ Shockley, and Jen Hale, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from now from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The season is right around the corner. One more preseason game to go. It's next Thursday in Jacksonville. Join us there as we get set for the first week of the season.
Atlanta Falcons preseason football has been sponsored in part by SunTrust. Confidence starts here. Georgia Power. There's power inside every fan. Visit georgiapower.com/community to learn how we power Georgia forward. Emory Healthcare, the official team healthcare provider of the Atlanta Falcons. And locally by Southeast Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota. Let's go places. And for those of you watching on CW69, stay tuned for Inside the Locker Room postgame with Randy Waters and Dave Archer up next.